There's nothing good about war. It's just chaos and mess and death and destruction. My job in flying was to patrol the Ho Chi Minh Trail, where they were bringing supplies from North Vietnam into South Vietnam. And I was on my 53rd mission, and we were in the southern part of North Vietnam. And he said, I've got a bunch of gunners up here, and they've been bothering us. I'd like you guys to put some bombs on these gunners up. So we rolled our multi-million-dollar F-4 into an attack face-to-face with these gunners, diving down at 45 degrees at 450 miles and 500 miles an hour, 450 knots. And right after the bombs came off the airplane, the stick is frozen right aft, the smoke in the cockpit, and it's obvious the plane is tumbling. I mean, this plane is not flying, it's just metal careening through the air. I didn't have enough altitude to slip my parachute to the river, so I planned and went ahead and did my parachute landing fall, and I was disconnected from my parachute, and there was an old bomb crater there from days past. It's about 3 feet deep. I jumped down in it. This was a French prison built in the early 1900s, occupied an entire city block. The walls are 15 feet high, about 5 feet thick. There's embedded broken glass, wine bottles broken on top, just filled with them. And then there's also electrical wires, and then guard towers at all the corners with guards and machine guns. So nobody ever escaped from that prison. I had one interrogator that said, I'm your friend, and we just need to know this information, it's harmless, And then the bad cop guy says, you fill this out, you're gonna be punished right away. My experience was what we call the humane torture, where they put you in stress positions to make you almost torture yourself. And then when you didn't do it, then they would just kick you and beat you until you got back into the stress position. And then in May of 1969, there was escape at one of the other camps, and they started regular torture in our camp. You don't give up until it's over, because you can still win. So John McCain was probably the most seriously wounded, injured POW who actually was able to come home and live through it, from the capture part and the ejection sequence. So he was in almost a full body cast there in the early days, but he was in the Hanoi Hilton, and I was too. So they called McCain in and said, you're going to be going home, we're releasing you. They were going to release 3 guys. McCain said, I don't think so. I'm staying. So they sent him back to his cell to think it through. And he came back, and same thing. Nope, I'm staying here. Now, he had talked it over with some guys next door, and they said, sick and wounded, and you're pretty badly wounded, and you ought to think seriously about going home. You could go home, and it's okay. That was fall of 1969. And when that leadership changed, and the new leadership said, well, let's treat the POWs differently. I got to write a letter. 6 months later, I got my first letter. They stopped the torture, so that we walked out of there 3 years later in good mental and physical condition that we came home.